Worldwide trainers.
What if this goes viral?
On video. Worldwide trainers.
What if this goes viral?
On video. Worldwide trainers.
What if this goes viral?
On video.
Hi, we're live from Breton Entertainment, here to give you all the Young Life tastes and tickles. My name's Bernie, without an E.
And I'm Bernice without the C!
And we are here to give you everything that you need to know on this fantastic Monday morning. It's not Monday.
I think it's a Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. And we are here with all the kittens and kittles to give you the taste and tickles of Young Life. And what it might mean for you to be a Bernie too. A Young Life leader. A Young Life leader. So we'll see you soon.
Hey, my name is Chris Breton. It's not Bernie, and I'm the area director in North St. Johns County and have the privilege to work with folks like you and kids and adults that aren't you in our area. And it is a high calling to get to do what I get to do. And I am really so excited about what's going on in our area. And so I would say that if you're watching this, this is a high privilege because you have discerned that the Lord might be calling you to work with kids and lead them to the feet of Jesus in this season of your life. And I cannot wait to see what the Lord is going to do. So dig in, have fun. That's what we do in Young Life. We have a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
We're not I would say I'm not the greatest at doing skits, but hey, we put ourselves out there and
you did have Bernie gloves.
I did. I
At
found
your house
Bernie gloves
already.
in the skit closet for
Okay.
Young Life. That's
Yeah.
great. So as the area director, I get to be with everybody. I get to lead and cast vision and make strategy for the ways that we're gonna engage kids, be with kids. So I love my job. I love getting to do what I get to do. And so I'm excited to know you guys and build a relationship.
Hi, I'm Peyton Clark. I am the Wyldlife team leader. We launched Wyldlife back in August, and it's been awesome. It's been an amazing 6 months, roller coaster. We have a ton of kids that are coming to spend Sunday nights with us each week, and we would love people like you to join our team.
I think that's it. Yeah. An ending about that.
So watch this video to see what a day as a Young Life or Wyldlife leader looks like.
It's actually it's like a week in the life.
Now
of
I
it.
just did like.
There's this common conversation that happens between kids and their parents. It's September, the leaves are falling, and every kid in the universe is excited about one thing: Friday night football. The teenager finishes dinner at home and is already halfway out the door when he turns around and shouts, "Mom, I'm going to my Young Life leader's house after the game." Not so fast, mister. Explaining Young Life isn't easy. The only thing harder than explaining Young Life is explaining Young Life to worried parents. How worried? Kitchen table conversation worried. The hardest part to explain for the kid isn't the Young Life events or the Young Life camps. It's the relationship with these guys. Who are these people, and why do they spend all their time with high schoolers and middle schoolers? What's a Young Life leader? It's Monday. The leader is supposed to get up at 5:45 a.m. They end up getting up at 5:54, so no time to shower. They need to be at a school that they didn't graduate from in 20 minutes to pass out donuts. Luckily, they can drive to this school in their sleep because they've spent every Monday for months doing the same exact thing, which is why they threw away the donut holes and started using the whole thing, no pun intended. Even though no one wanted donuts and they burned through half a tank of gas, they consider the morning a success. Another quarter tank of gas later, and they are home just on time for their 8 a.m. psychology lecture. Yeah, psychology lecture. College isn't going to finish itself. Classes drag, but once they're finished, it's back up to the school that they didn't graduate from. It's campaigners tonight, which is pretty much just a Bible study for people that wouldn't usually come to one. Moms are happy everywhere that their child's NIV is no longer collecting dust.
Campaigners is a place where people can be real. It's a place where people are free to ask the questions that they've always been thinking and find out those answers.
Right before they sleep, they briefly recall all the new names that they had learned that day at the school that they didn't Alright, you get it. Tuesday. Sun rises. Tuesday is an almost identical day to Monday, minus the donuts and plus a basketball game. They see that student again. They laugh at one of your jokes. Let's go! On their way back home, they stop by the local sports bar and ask about fundraising opportunities. The leader needs to raise a lot of money and not a lot of time if they want all the students to go to Young Life Camp. What's Young Life Camp? It's the best week of your life, but we really don't have time to talk about that right now. Wednesday. Club Day, Young Life's party with a purpose. The leader has been rehearsing their lines for weeks for a silly skit that may or may not be funny. Is Salt Bae still funny? Anyways, Club isn't just some loud event that starts at 8:08. It's a loud event that breaks down walls. It just happens to be at a goofy time.
Young Life Club's weird.
Play a ton of games, listen to music, dance, talk at the end about Jesus.
That one student came and had the best time while hearing about a God who loved them. No, seriously, is Salt Bae still funny or have we moved on? Fast forward to the weekend. No one wants to see more lectures and car rides. We get it, you're in college, you do a lot of stuff. The leader has now spent a total of 5 hours and a tank and a half of gas of going to and from the school that they lead at.
I fill up my gas tank every single time I'm in Finneytown.
It's a quiet Sunday afternoon, the perfect time to catch up on schoolwork. Then the phone rings. It's from an unknown number, which usually means don't pick up, but for some reason, they do. It's that student. They asked to get lunch. Suddenly, homework isn't important. I'm on my way. The donuts, the basketball games, they're good things. In fact, they're great. But they're meaningless if they don't lead to something bigger. This is the heartbeat of Young Life, and it always has been. The something doesn't have to be sensational. It doesn't have to be spectacle. It doesn't have to be club, campaigners, or even Young Life Camp. The walls are already down, the teenager is already won, and the stage is already set for something. It's this: to introduce teenagers to Jesus Christ and help them grow in their faith. It looks like this. It's not just because they care, but it's because they've been transformed by God's love and feel compelled to share that in the best way they know how. What's a Young Life leader? They're people, just like you and I. But what does a Young Life leader do? They care. And it looks a lot like showing up, one day at a time.
So hey, what a great video. I love the real life look into what it means to be a Young Life or a Wyldlife leader. Before you even say yes or consider what you might get yourself into, I think it's always really good to have a clear picture of what you might be saying yes to. So hey, we talk about John 10:10 a lot. I'm going to translate and using the Message Bible here, but basically Jesus came so that we, and in particular students, can have real and eternal life, more and better life than they ever dreamed of. And I think that our purpose as a leader, our expectations, is that we are literally, we're building relationships with kids, and then we're pulling them to the feet of Jesus. So we're connecting kids to Christ. And I think we have a really nice tool belt to do that. So relationships are everything in Young Life. We are expected to go to kids and build relationships with them. And then we have this sweet tool belt of opportunities for us to engage them with the gospel. So ultimately, Young Life is relationships. And here's what the relationships look like, the responsibilities or the expectations of a Young Life leader.
The number one thing that we do is to pray regularly for these kids. You can put sticky notes on your
car, your window, your whiteboard.
steering wheel is where I was going with that. It got to be my turn, and then I
We're
failed.
good. We're good.
Sticky notes on your steering wheel. Sticky notes along your mirror when you get ready in the morning.
Your coffee mug.
Your coffee mug with your 6th grade girl's face on it. I don't know.
That's my daughter. That's not a 6th grade girl. That would be weird.
That's your son. It's
We'll
Baylor.
we'll get to weird relationships on the training weekend. So, here we go.
So start over. All right. So
No, don't start over. Just keep going.
I'm not gonna
Pray. The first thing is to pray.
pray.
Okay, so then from this posture of prayer before the Lord, we're lifting kids up. We believe that God is going to give us a real relationship with kids. And so we actively pursue kids through this thing called contact work. And it's just a fancy word to say, go where kids are and spend time there. So maybe it's the football game. Maybe it's a lacrosse game. Maybe it's a dance recital. Maybe
hopefully the
it's
lunchroom next
yeah,
year.
lunchroom next year with no COVID. There are so many opportunities, and you'll get a bunch of training on that. But we, as Young Life and Wildlife leaders, we go where kids are. And we do this little thing called earn the right to be heard. Because once we have a kid's trust, everything that we say to them and in their midst, they're listening, they're watching, they're learning from us. And if our posture is in prayer, we're one with the Spirit, everywhere we go, Jesus goes. And so they're listening and learning ultimately from Jesus if that's where we are. Okay.
The next thing is to assist in leading weekly club. For Wyldlife, it's actually every other week or bi-monthly. This can be with setup, it can be with teardown, and then it's talks, music, skits, fun games. We just go, we spend an hour and a half, and we just have a big time. It is full of joy, fun, and so that is one of the responsibilities, to participate and help in that with your team.
Yeah, and for Young Life, it's every single Monday minus holidays. So, we can talk about why Wyldlife is different another time. But
so
club,
Wyldlife is every other Sunday.
There you go, for club.
For club, and then the alternating Sundays is going to be campaigners, which
yes, campaigners. One more thing about club, though. Club is where we proclaim the gospel. And if we're building relationships with kids who don't know Jesus, we have a lot of kids sitting in club who have never heard the full gospel story. So we get to proclaim it there every single week. So that's really awesome. But campaigners is a place where kids can grow in their faith. As you heard in the video, it's a Bible study for kids who wouldn't normally go to a Bible study, and that parents all over the world are rejoicing that their dusty NIV is being used. So that literally is what it is. We have kids who probably have never been to a Bible study. We open the scriptures up with them, and that's an expectation of you, to open up the scriptures and lean in with kids to hear what God might be saying to them.
And campaigners is broken up into age and then gender. Yep. And so maybe you'll lead a 10th grade boys campaigner group, or you may be 8th grade girls, or whatever age you feel called to and you really connect with, that is the group that you will be meeting. Oh, you're on camp?
We're on camp, yeah.
Camp, okay.
Hey, so
I was an avid camp goer. I loved Wyldlife Camp, loved Young Life Camp, and camp is amazing. It is where the kids go to have life-changing weekends or weeks, and it is where we as leaders get to spend this time with them, where they go through this huge transformation. It is full of clubs throughout the day, throughout the weekend, throughout the week. Awesome food. Lots of outdoor activities, really kayaking, rope courses.
Go-karts at some camps.
Go-karts.
Carolina Point, Young Life Camp, where we often go, go-karts.
Yeah. So that is kind of our Super Bowl, I would say.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the movie Heavyweights? Yes. It's exactly like that.
Way more encouraging verbiage.
Can you smell it? There's a life force in here tonight. I see potential. Just Father Sky, Mother Earth, and your dear old Uncle Tony. Cody wants to have fun. All right, Cody, let's have some fun.
Minus
However-
Ben Stiller and tights and workout classes.
And like the electrocution.
And yeah,
like
it was a great
electrocuting.
movie of my childhood. Loved it.
Yes.
Yes. Hey, one thing about camp, we don't send kids to a camp where they have leaders ready for them. There's not like counselors there. We as leaders who have been doing contact work, club, and leading at campaigners with the kids that God has called us to, we take them to camp. So we go as adults.
Right.
We have this shared experience where God is making himself really crystal clear. And then we come back home and we keep doing life with them. So that's something that I absolutely love about camp.
Yep.
And so, hey, the last thing that you need to know as a leader, what we just explained to you is kind of what we call the 4 C's: contact work, club, campaigners, and camp. And that's the tool belt that we wear as leaders to engage kids with the scriptures. Beyond that, there's training. I think it's a really good use of your time to be a student of youth culture and a student of how to best engage kids with the scriptures. And so Young Life has, and I say this with great humility, being from the local church and being a youth pastor in my prior role, we have some of the best youth ministry training out there, and that is at your disposal. So we'll give you training throughout the season of your ministry. We're going to have a leader retreat where we have a ton of training that you'll
Also
be
good food.
great food.
Yeah.
That you'll be expected to be at. That's the next kind of process here for you to be a Young Life or a Wyldlife leader in our area. And then beyond that, there are other moments that we want you and expect you to engage in as a leader. And so we communicate a lot via this app called Slack. And you're expected to engage in that. There might be leader community moments where we gather together to have a lot of fun as leaders. So we've looked at what a Young Life and Wyldlife leader is. You've got a picture of it. We've kind of laid out what each of the tools on our tool belt look like as a leader. And ultimately, the main reason we're Young Life leaders, to influence kids, get them to the feet of Jesus, and help them grow in their faith. And so right now, Wyldlife in North St. Johns County, what does that look like if the leaders watching this video decide that this is for them? What can they expect hours-wise? Actions, doing stuff as a Young Life leader, Wyldlife leader, what does that look like?
All right, yeah. So to be a Wyldlife leader, I would expect to give 5 hours a week to about 2.5 hours to prep, set up for, and break down club. And then I would encourage you to give 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours of contact work a week, whether that be lunch in the lunchroom, attending a sporting event, meeting your kids for coffee or a pickup flag football game. Go into the life of them, meet them where they are. That is where you're going to see your relationship with them and their relationship with Jesus really grow. That's kind of the most, I would say, the most rewarding thing that we do. And so 5 hours a week. On campaigner weeks, it's going to be a little bit less because there's not as much prep or setup for that in club. But 5 hours is a pretty good average.
Yeah. And I would say, too, on those campaigner weeks, if there's an hour less of commitment or whatever, like Young Life leaders desire to be where kids are. And so we could say, hey, if you've got an hour or so and it works for your family or your school schedule or your work schedule, go where kids are. Like that's our main work, relationships.
Yep.
So on a camp basis,
Yes.
right? So We're actually in the season right now where we're doing school season camping, and we're about to take Wyldlife kids to camp. What does that look like?
So in the winter or next year, maybe the fall. This year it's winter. We are going to leave on a Friday, early evening, late afternoon, around 5, and we're going to get back on Sunday around 2. So it's not even 48 hours, but it is a weekend. I would expect to give 1 weekend to camp during the school year. And then during the summer, 5 days. We go to camp for 5 days, which is awesome. And again, camp is incredible.
It is literally, Young Life's tagline is that it's the best week of your life or the best weekend of your life. And I believe it.
Yeah.
Like it really is amazing.
And we're kind of wording this like they are obligations or their duties or the requirements. But honestly, once you get into this, you'll see that this is so much fun.
You're going to want to do it.
When we have weeks off, I start to miss my 7th and 8th grade girls. Our leader team has so much fun together. It's kind of become my accountability group, and so I know right now it may sound like kind of daunting, but once you get into it, you're going to look forward to it. It's going to be so rewarding. It's not going to feel like you're going to work.
Yeah, it's good. So for all of you who are considering being a Young Life leader, the expectations are a little bit higher in regards to time, because we do club and campaigners every single week. Our Wyldlife model is a little bit different. Because we're engaging them on a different level mentally, etc. And so campaigners really can be any time that you have a group of kids who are ready to start investigating Jesus in the scriptures. So you may or may not come in as a new leader and lead a campaigners group. Really, campaigners groups are relationship centered. So if you don't have relationships with kids, we're not going to ask you to lead a campaigners group immediately until you have relationships with kids. So that may or may not dictate how many hours you spend immediately in our high school ministry called Young Life. So club every single Monday night, and club is strict to an hour, and we have a leader meeting about an hour before that. So club will be a 2-hour commitment, plus or minus any driving that you do to get to our club space. Contact work for high school, we want to be in the world of kids at least 2 times each week. Could be for an hour or 2 hours each time, or 30 minutes or whatever it is. We're constantly trying to get into the world of kids. And so we kind of set the expectation that you're going to engage with high school kids twice a week. So between club, campaigners, if you have a group of kids that are ready, and contact work, we say anywhere between 7 to 10 hours a week. And that's kind of traditional across the Young Life world. And I say world, we're in 104 different countries right now. And some areas expect 10 to 15 hours a week. Some areas expect 6 to 8 hours. We're kind of in the middle, and about 7 to 10 hours a week. You get to craft what you want to do with kids. But we're expecting that you would go into the world of teenagers by doing contact work, show up and lead with certainty at club. And when you have a group of kids ready, get them into the Word and show them what it means to follow Jesus. And we do camp as well. So we take kids to camp, and it's the same exact expectations. When we get to summer, for summer camp post-COVID, high school summer camps are 7 days, not 5 days. But currently they are 5 days. Everybody's gone to a 5-day format. So you can also expect to be with your kids on a 5-day camp trip. And here's the thing. You only go to camp if you have kids going to camp. So if you want to have the best week of your life, and I'm telling you, God opens up our hearts as adult leaders, and he teaches us things at camp. It's not just for kids, I promise you. You'll grow in your faith at camp and have the best week of your life. So,
and I will touch another on contact work. Right now on our team, we have teachers. We have people that live in the neighborhoods with the kids. We have coaches. So sometimes in our daily life, we are doing contact work. And like the power that you have there when you're exposed to the kids every day, or at practice, or at school or, around the neighborhood, or maybe it's at work, like through your job, you see them, working in a shop or a store, or, a server, then that's also contact work in its own.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So that's what it looks like to be a Young Life leader, and we're so excited that you've engaged with us for this long, and that I pray God is wooing your hearts to our ministry because of the impact that we get to make in kids who are wrestling right now with big questions about their existence, big questions about God, or maybe no questions about God. And we get to be the ones to share with them this good news that Jesus has come and died for us so that we could have life.